Dirty Truth Tellers.
So good evening, we're Epstein and Hassan, the Dirty Truth Tellers, and we're very excited tonight. I'll speak for myself. I'm very excited. Are you very excited?
Yes.
Really?
Yes,
That's
yes,
good to
yes,
say. We're
yes.
both very excited at the
Yes,
same time.
Yes.
And at our age, getting excited at the same time is very, very exciting.
Yes.
So the reason we're so excited is that today we have a couple show, and we are talking to two people, I believe, in Florida, right? Am I right about this? So they're in Florida. And they're a couple, and we met them a number of years ago when we were in San Diego, doing the San Diego Fringe. And so let's introduce them, okay?
Okay.
So I'll start.
Yes.
We'll start with the man.
Okay.
Okay.
Where's your sheet?
I
Your
got my
second
sheet here.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, let me find my sheet.
He's got notes.
Mr. Neurotic Props,
I'm
right?
a very professional newsman, as you can
Yeah.
tell. I'm very,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
professional. I'm very on top of stuff.
Yes. Yes.
So this is Michael and Tymisha.
Yes.
Michael Marinaccio. Is that the way you pronounce your last name? Am I correct about that?
That is correct.
I was a little
That is
nervous.
correct, sir. No,
So
you got it.
I got it. So I'm not gonna read what I have here. Michael Marinaccio is a legendary figure in the world of fringe theater.
Yes.
And for many years, he was the producer of the Orlando Fringe. And you're currently still working with the Orlando Fringe, or in some function, right?
I am not. No,
Well, you're not at all
no,
anymore.
I got out just in time for the pandemic when everybody had to deal with all turning everything digital. So I'm very grateful that I kind of stepped aside at the time I did. But
You were the
yeah, I stepped
long-term.
down in 2019.
For a very long term, he was the producer of the Orlando Fringe, which in the United States is probably the biggest fringe.
Yes.
And certainly we did a number of fringes, and it was certainly the best fringe that we were in,
Yes.
including Edinburgh. But anyway, so Michael is a producer, he's an actor, he's a father, and he also produced the amazing show that is I guess like the most, in the last few years, the most incredible show of any fringe that was coming
that
out
we've seen.
anywhere. It was called Josephine.
Quite as it's kept some Broadway and off
We'll
Broadway
be talking
shows.
a lot about it.
Yes,
And
yes.
Michael was with this incredibly gifted woman. And why don't you tell us, because that's the
Yes.
woman in that corner over
Yes.
there. That's
But
her.
I want to say one more thing that Michael did. Michael led a workshop for people who were applying for the Fringe, like us, who
Right.
had no idea. The applications a lot of times were just intimidating if you didn't know the location. And he personally helped us to find a place, the venue we performed in. And so he's
Now,
not,
when you say this about Michael, he's the anti-producer.
yeah.
There is
yeah.
no other producer that I ever met.
I've never met no
You know,
one
'cause,
like
you know,
Michael.
in the theatrical thing, whether it's
No.
a Fringe or Broadway
Never.
or on television,
Never.
Michael is the kindest, most gentle.
Yeah. We kept waiting for him to
it was
try to
almost like-
fuck us over because he was just so kind.
He's
Like,
so kind.
Who is he? Came and meet us for
Yeah,
breakfast.
he's
I'm
really-
like,
he's really-
who the hell is this
He's-
dude?
He's quite
Right?
he's quite a great guy, and we didn't even really start telling you how sweet a guy he is.
Yes, yes.
But anyway, so
yes. So then,
Thank you.
right, he tells us, well, this person that I know is running the show in the Fringe, and it's not really together, but we're going to put it up. So Steve and I said, definitely will support you. So, my God, who did we meet? Miss Tymisha Harris. Okay, this woman blew my fucking mind.
She did.
For me, I haven't seen an artist like you, and please understand what I'm saying, since Sammy Davis Jr., Diana Ross. I mean, you make the audience feel like you are speaking to each one of them individually, and you know their secrets, and you'll never fucking tell. I just love what you bring. Miss Tymisha Harris, I love we tried to look you guys up, and I love what you said, that whatever is needed at the venue, you will offer. And that's a space that we performed in. And it was a shout out to Jackie, a shout out to Blue Star. They were just extremely loving. I see that you're doing Miss Sally motherfucking Bowles at the
cursing today.
She wrote that. I didn't write
I
that.
wrote that.
She wrote that. I didn't write that. I said that's what she said. The creative executive producer of Josephine, a burlesque cabaret dream, a former puppeteer. I used to love watching your stuff you did with puppets. You worked at Orlando Fringe. You worked at the Rock of Ages. You are just, for me, an all-around performer.
Yes.
And so we want to welcome both of you, Tymisha and Michael.
Yes. Now, they're a great couple, and they are a couple. So let's start with the couple shit first, and then we'll get into other.
Okay.
So first of all, how long have you been a couple?
6 years, just over 6 years. 2015.
6 years together.
What are your astrology signs?
Leo.
I'm a Libra.
Oh,
I'm a Libra.
okay.
My Libra sister. I love it.
Leo. Now now we're gonna start getting to the important questions.
Yes.
Those were kind of the bullshit questions. So who hit on who, and how did it happen, and how long did it take for you two to do your
And how'd you keep it a secret from people around you? Because I read the messages, and people were like, when did this happen? How'd you do that?
I think Michael pursued me. He had been single for a little while, and I don't know. You have more of an interesting story than I did. The reason I remember was we were doing a festival called Art Orlando. I think that was
Orlando.
Orlando.
Oh yeah. That was when I made my big move. But we had been friends for years.
Right.
We definitely had chemistry and had flirted and things like that. And then when I separated from my ex-wife, I kind of avoided Tymisha because I knew that if I went there, that, you know what I mean?
So you're gone.
So, and we had some friends that were trying to push us together and kind of saw that, and we're doing that. But we did this. I produced this festival called Orlando. The Orlando Weekly did this big event, and I'm on stage emceeing it and introducing things. And so I introduced the act. It's Tymisha and Blue and Varieties, and they do a number, and then afterwards, I think I said something like, in front of all 2,000 whatever folks out here, I just want to declare my intentions for Tymisha Harris.
It's like,
I love it.
Now,
I love it. Yes.
Tymisha does burlesque as well. So, I mean, not only, I mean, it's really, you're an unbelievable performer. Let me just say that. I mean, the one woman show that you did, we saw it here in New York at the Soho Playhouse. We'd also seen it in Orlando. You're you know, I'm not just saying this out of, you know, because you're our guest and I'm kissing your ass, which I would do even if you suck, but you don't. And you're an amazing, and your burlesque performing is amazing. Because we used to host a burlesque show in New York, the Blue Angel Cabaret, and we know a lot about burlesque. Right. And when I saw your joy, and you are like, you make the audience, your joy comes through you. It's just like oozing out of you.
It's not what we got for you, what we experienced. It wasn't just about, okay, I'm going to do this number and show you part of my titty, and then I'm going to collect. It was, and
that would have been fine for me, but I mean, she wanted she's into the artistic crap. So you hooked up, and this was after being friends for a long time, or so that's a little challenging at the beginning, you know, because then you have to make that next step.
You know, I think that was pretty easy, actually. Like once we went out on our first date, and it was like on the drive out there, we drove out to the coast to go see a concert out of Cocoa Beach. And I think it was Tymisha that started it. And she just turned to me and was like, okay, so here's this, and this that you need to know about me if you're gonna like, and I was like, all right, well, here's my baggage. And we just kind of put it out there right at the start. And I think, because we knew each other, because we cared about each other before we started dating, there wasn't, I don't know. I think it made sense. It worked really well for us.
Are you monogamous, the two of you?
Currently, yes.
Currently.
Yeah, because we did a whole bunch of things, because we're a monogamous couple. We've been monogamous for 35 unbelievably long years.
Oh, please. Unfucking believable.
But we did this show and we were talking about how monogamy was hot and sexy. And people who are not monogamous, a bunch of them wrote to us that we're prejudiced against them. It's not that we're prejudiced. I mean, everybody, whatever you want to do is cool with, we're not judging you. Monogamy is like the ultimate bondage. Like you're tied into the situation with one person. And it's just like, you're bound to them. But it can be really hot and sexy because it's almost like, wow, if you can't, for 35 years, if you, like I always say, every time, if I just climbed on top of her and squeezed her tits, every time for 35 years. That shit would be really boring. I mean, she has nice tits, but it's not, now they've changed the look. They're a little bit different.
They're just relaxed.
Now she can flip them over her back.
But see, what you two did is what a lot of couples don't do, is that you expressed in the beginning. You can't assume someone knows what you've been through or what you want.
Well, let me ask you a question then, Michael. Like when she's performing burlesque, does that do you ever get jealous because you see people looking at her, or is that like something that appeals to you? Does it turn you on? How do you feel?
There was a time sort of about like a year to 2 years into our relationship where it started to bother me, but there was a symptom of other things. Like, honestly, I just think when I see her perform, I just watch her and like am mesmerized by what she does. And like, that doesn't bother me at all, honestly.
That was a mesmerizing show. We saw that show when we were in the Fringe in Orlando.
Yeah.
And that show is like crazy wild. There's nothing in New York that compares to that show. I mean, awesome. The Orlando version of it was like really great. And she's like such an unbelievable performance. I just wondered about that. I wouldn't do that to people. If Hassan did burlesque, the audience would be clearing out. They would be flying towards.
Excuse me, like you would be up there. So when did you decide? How did you both decide to create the artistic piece, Josephine?
I was in the mood or in the need of creating something that I felt was my own, in a sense, that I felt I was in a lead role. I had always been in ensemble positions, helping out with the crew. We're part of the team and all the time. And to know that I could take a lead role was something that I didn't shy away from it, but I didn't know that it could happen. And I didn't want the typical roles that were kind of being passed around to especially women of color.
Yeah.
The same old. And so Mike suggests, why don't we write a show? We're going to write you a show. And yeah, sure. Okay, whatever. And at one point we were going to do a show about Tina Turner because I impersonate Tina as well. And we kept fuddling around with the idea and like, maybe. And then someone suggested that we do Josephine, and the nerd over there, Mike, just went in and we went in on as much research as possible, the dramaturgy, if you will. Mm-hmm. And it kind of created, and then he brought his longtime partner, co-writer, producer. He's Todd, who's our other partner in crime. And yeah, they collaborated, and we have gave him the outline, and now we have a whole show that we've been touring.
And what's amazing is that, you are such a star quality. I mean, the fact that you were part of an ensemble, I think it talks more about the fact that you're a humble person.
Yeah.
Because you are like, I said, Michael's a sweetheart. Yeah. You're both such great people. And that's really when we first met you in San Diego, we were, and you're an interracial couple, which is, to us, is always interesting because
it's not an easy thing.
We're still in America.
It's not an easy thing on all levels and all sides. It's just not an easy thing.
And especially the last few years where America has returned back to the 1890s with
where
rape.
they, oh my gosh.
We're in a really terrifying moment, right? I know Michael's a political guy. I see his things on Facebook. That, you know, we're in a potential civil war state in the United States. Like, if things, there's a very good chance that in 2022 the Republicans will take over the Congress, and if that happens, that's the end of, we're back in Jim Crow. It's already sort of happening. So as an interracial couple, we notice that there's more and more tension. Like the whole myth that Obama had brought a post-racial America is just a myth. It's never been this bad since I've been alive. I've never seen anything like it. Even in a city like New York, which is supposedly kind of, you know, progressive city. You guys are living in Florida.
What's it like for you in Florida, just artistically dealing with the climate and your?
We're in our own little bubble here in Orlando. Orlando's a little blue bubble in the middle of Florida. So now I was down in South Florida. I went down to, where was it? It's right over Delray Beach. It's right over by Mar-a-Lago. And it was after the election, but before the failed coup. And it was you know, they're all driving up and down in their trucks and honking their horns and waving their Trump flags. And some old lady is sitting at an outdoor cafe and she's just trying to eat her lunch, and they're driving by, and she turns around. She's like, "Shut the fuck up, you fucking losers!" And she's just like flipping them the bird. And I'm like, what has this made us?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This sweet old lady's in here eating her salad. Of course, she has a right to eat her salad without them idiots driving up and down. But
between
it's just made us all so angry. I feel like that the culture, the climate is just we're poisoned, and the two-party system is
weight culture, just everything being censored, and then everything being racial.
Well, you have Ron DeSantis as your governor. I mean, he's basically like a potential fascist. I mean, he's a fascist wannabe. Another guy that went to Harvard. I can't believe people that go to Harvard. I mean, it's just.
Well, listen, man. You know, the last time was a test run. Trump is an idiot. If he was smart. What happens when we have a smart authoritarian?
I'd be in chains.
And all the guide rails are already taken off, you know, and it's just like.
I don't think Trump will win in 20. I think Trump hopefully will be in jail, but whoever comes next is going to be a lot smarter than Trump. So it's actually worse in a way, because whoever comes in following him just plays the same. DeSantis wants that role. I don't know if he's going to sell. I can't believe that guy. All these Harvard graduates, Kylie McEnany went to Harvard, Bill O'Reilly went to Harvard, Ron DeSantis went to Harvard. What are they teaching people at Harvard? You know, I went to Brooklyn College, and I'm kind of like.
Hey, poor people. I think it's pretty clear.
That's exactly.
Hey, poor people.
The top reason.
Why did you choose to play Sally Bowles?
Actually, they asked me. And I thought, why not? Why not give it a chance to put a dark face on her and just kind of challenge what that looked like. And I had a lot of people coming up afterwards and expressing how they felt, like how it changed things for them, just put it in a different perspective and such, especially where we are now and the climate. So when I was approached, I was just like, you serious? You know, I honestly, I was trying to think if they were going for an alternative kind of casting things. And so I thought that they would ask me to be the MC, you know, go really out the box. But no, they came in and asked Sally, and I wish I had more time with it to get into it. It was a short run. It was 3-ish weeks. And then I was in Canada for half of the rehearsal process. And so I wish I had a little bit more time just to get into her bones.
Right.
But I loved it. I loved it.
She was great. And I will say this, you know, I didn't even think about it the whole time through, the fact that there was a Black woman playing Sally Bowles, until toward the end, when I was like, a Black woman would never be so dumb as to deny the racism that's coming. You know, Sally Bowles, she just puts her head, you know, she just,
Like,
I'm just going to pretend that nothing's happening. You know what I mean? I was like, that a Black woman would never do that.
But you know what? It could happen, Michael. I think that if depending on what it is you want, if you want success that much, sometimes you will put the blinders on. I'm sure in your development of Josephine Baker, you saw where she had to change her perspective a lot. That, you know, you recognize a lot of times as a Black woman, when it's kind of like, okay, I'm a sex symbol, but then it's something else. But then Black people are going to look at me this way, and then white people are going to look at me this way. So it's constantly the finding that middle ground for yourself. I'm just assuming, I just want to perform, I just want to express, I just want to do my work. So there were Black people that did not want to look at the racial climate of things.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not here to put a judgment on them. I didn't live in that time. And you know, we have Black Republicans now.
We have a Black woman vice president right now.
Yeah.
Basically, she's
the only time she gets angry is when she's dealing with Black men.
You know, she came in.
That's the only time.
She's been a kind of invisible woman. In, you know, what happened was we were all so relieved that Trump was gone that we kind of took some time off looking at what was going on with Trump, with Biden and Harris. You know, she's been very invisible, considering the fact that they're trying to take the Jim Crow laws and make them back. And she could be out there. Obama could be out there. Out there fighting like every day. Yeah, this is unbelievable what could happen there. And it's a year away from the congressional races. And you would think that Obama, Oprah Winfrey,
all of the billionaires,
all the Jay-Z's, it's no joke. You know, we're going to have a country again that is going to, and they're going to codify all these laws and make it really hard to change all this changing that they've been doing. And Harris, she's married to a Jewish guy, so they got a Black Jewish thing going on there. So I was hoping that they would be so outrageous that the Black Jewish thing would be like, oh, we need a Black and a Jew now, you know? But no, they're fucking up. They're fucking up.
What if they're I don't know. I'm just hoping that they're doing something behind the scenes about it, but I don't.
There ain't no Wizard of Oz, girl.
Ain't no Wizard of Oz.
Ain't no Wizard of Oz.
Girl.
Pull that fucking curtain. Ain't nothing there but a little old white man.
Like, yeah.
I want to ask you, what did you two learn about each other that you really, I don't want to say you didn't know, but it came kind of really to a head, for less of a better word, during COVID? Like, did you learn one was more patient or not patient, or?
What did we learn during COVID? It was interesting because when we got in from COVID, the way it hit was really a vacation. You know, we had been going so hard and so long, and like boom, 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 came in from Australia thinking we were going to do another show immediately the week after. We were in that theater setting up, and then when the theme parks closed, we shut down too, because we're not about, if the theme parks are closed, you know, everything's down, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when we got done and we brought everything back home and just had a moment to take a break, it was just, oh yeah, okay. All right, nice. And we didn't have to start learning anything new until we started the Fringe this past year. So we kind of had a whole, almost a year or so, give or take, when we were working on the script and whatnot. And I mean, I learned that living together, working together and all that, that's some tight shit. That's some tight.
Let me tell you something. I've been married to her for 35 years. Yeah. COVID, I didn't even know her before I got 30. I mean, I've never spent so much time with her in like 1 month. And
You can't hide. You can't
we
hide.
live in a really small apartment. We were really trapped in here. It was like trapped in, I felt like that show Lockup, where you're in the cell with one guy and it's a tiny little cell, you know. So let's get some personal questions since we went there. This is a very important question. Who was the first person between the two of you that farted in front of the other one?
I bet she was.
I think it was me.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
probably you.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Me.
Yes,
I had to break the ice. I had to be like, fine.
Right?
Well, she told me to be comfortable and then tried to back out after she smelled it. She was like, no.
Not just your diet, your religion, man.
All that like pastrami and corned beef.
See, I didn't eat all that shit. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what that was.
That's our gas question. Now, between the two of you, who's the snorer?
Neither of us, really.
Neither of us.
You're very
You might
lucky.
do
Wait, hang on. You're very lucky.
knock on wood.
Hassan is a big
Oh,
snorer.
that's what you want to say.
He sounds like Louis Armstrong. It's not just like a little tiny thing. And she falls asleep in 1 second. After a show, I'm like fired up. I can't sleep. She falls asleep in 1 second and starts blasting that trumpet sound that comes out of her. And you can never fall asleep again. So these are important things in a relationship.
So how do you both handle it when you come home from a show, right? Like, how do you wind your energy down?
Smoke a joint. I mean, I think both of us together.
Do you like being around people or it depends?
Depends.
So I think what I learned during the pandemic is how much of an introvert I am, and didn't really know it because I just had a job of an extrovert and you know, was in it so long. So for me, it was kind of like a healing thing. But Tymisha's an extrovert. She needs people. She needs to be around people. So I figure after the show, we'll typically go out a little bit if Tymisha wants. But I'm always good just going home.
Well, Tymisha, tell us about that wonderland that you're in right there.
This is called the Tymisha, and it's attached to the house. Well, it's not, it's detached from the house. And it has all kinds of black girl magic in here.
I love it. I love it.
I've got costumes galore and, oh, hold on. Did I lose you? I hit the wrong thing. I've got costumes galore. I even have a loft. It's a mess, so I apologize. But that's everything behind me. My little loft, so I can go upstairs when I don't want to, when I want to be able to just kind of wind down from the show.
Yeah.
I'll come in, get my yoga mat out and stretch. I usually stretch after a show, just kind of get my body out of it. And I might come up here and lay in the loft and then go to bed or get up and go to bed or something. And
you make all your own clothing, right? That's all your stuff that you do.
I create.
Unbelievable.
It's just like, you know, like the talent just oozes out of her, you know.
Jesus.
I don't know if I
create the costumes. I don't make shit.
She's an expert shopper, vintage, thrift, store, deals, finding things, putting things together that people wouldn't think. And the curse is everything looks good on her. Like so we go, just yesterday, we go to any store we go to, if she's trying things on, the owner of the store, everybody will be out and just handing her things to try more things on. She just sort of like, that
was fun. She gave us champagne.
I love it. Show us the back of your head. You have a heart on your head.
I got my heart on.
I love that.
Oh, wow.
That is cool.
She's got her heart on. I like that.
It on.
You see, that's good. Yeah. I have a heart on, but I'm not going to show it because I don't want to frighten you know what they say about Jews.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing. They say absolutely nothing.
How do you?
Never heard it.
She loves the Hebrew National Salami.
Yes,
don't let her joke. Don't let her kid.
Yes,
she loves that.
Yes, I do.
She puts mayonnaise on, and I told her it's not kosher. You got to put only mustard can go on a
How do you two argue?
Oh gosh. I think that's we're still working out. We're still trying to figure out how that goes.
It seems like he'd be very quiet in an argument. like, but brutal if when he gets it, like, and zings you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would predict she's a lunatic. That's
Oh
my
yeah.
feeling.
Oh my
that she's a
God. Yeah. You
lunatic.
just have to let her
Yeah,
blow
let her-
off, man. Yeah.
absolutely.
I do all the talking until Tymisha finally opens up and yells at me. So that's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
Let him get it out, and then
Yeah.
So here's another question. When you guys are together, do you sleep in the same bed? Or do you sleep in separate beds?
Yes.
we do sleep in the same bed.
Same bed. See, we
But
don't.
this last
There-
tour, I didn't mind.
There are times, yeah, like we'll get in a hotel room with 2 queens, or you know, some
Absolutely.
nights just having some space. But yeah.
Absolutely.
See, we don't sleep in the same bed.
No.
A lot of it had to do with us getting older, you know, because I have to pee every
Hot
3
flashes,
minutes. I
all
pee
that
literally
shit. Yeah,
every 3 minutes.
you can't. I get hot. I can't
She's-
wrap up with you.
She's got air conditioning on when
no,
it's like
no,
20
I
degrees
can't,
below
I
zero.
can't. Yeah, I can't.
You know?
I need it. No.
And as we've gotten older, our memories aren't so good.
Yeah.
So like I actually was going down on her a few weeks ago and I fell asleep. And when I woke up, she didn't know why there was a white man between her legs. She started like punching me in the back of my head.
Yeah.
So now we
What
put
happened?
up a sign saying we're having sex just in case one of us nods out. At our age, things change.
Is that the new
you guys are still young.
alert? Is that the new life alert?
I do have a life alert.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly right.
yeah.
Exactly.
You know, did you apply for the Orlando Fringe, just the recent one that they just did?
Yeah.
We did
Yeah.
too, but we didn't
We
get
were rejected as
like-
always.
like nothing.
We've
Like,
always
not a,
always
not a
rejected
fucking thing.
at the Orlando Fringe. We
Yeah.
always-
Yeah, we got bumped out. We didn't make the lottery either. And you know, I really have been trying to, for a lot of my time there, push for the bring your own venue option, more of the independent venues, more like, you know, what you did with the venue and what we like to do on most of the fest, what all of the venues are in Edinburgh. But the festival wants to keep it a certain size. So hopefully
guys were
one of
on
these
a-
days they'll wise up.
You were on an unbelievable, like your moment. The COVID had to block your momentum because everywhere you went, and you won the best show in like every single market that you went to.
Yeah.
Like I see you on Facebook, so I know, you know, I would see.
How'd you keep your energy
But
up?
not only that, like
and your voice.
it was just like everywhere you went,
Right.
you were the best show and you were the best performer. And by the way, you were the best show and the best performer everywhere you went. So it wasn't like, but that momentum seemed like you had been building it really to a point where, you know, because we kept thinking like they should definitely be on Broadway or a big off-Broadway run. Like it does, you know, Broadway doesn't necessarily, you need like 10 million to get it up.
See,
but-
it's not about, to me, at this point, the quality of talent. It's about if you have the funds and the
Well,
backing.
Michael's a producer. He knows all this stuff. I
yeah,
mean, it's
yeah.
just, you know, but you had a lot of momentum. When you went to Edinburgh, how did you do over there? Because that's like this unbelievably huge, that when we went there, we were like lost in like.
Overwhelmed. It's a
nowhere.
lot
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on in that
And
city.
the
man.
place we were in was not the best. It was literally a bar.
Yeah. Yeah, we had some help. You know, I had been there like 5 times before we had brought the show. We
you know
decided to
somebody
do
named
just
Barry?
yeah, Barry Church Woods, a good
Yeah.
friend of mine. He used to be the company's and venues manager out at Edinburgh. But yeah, so we went to Gilded Balloon and we did a limited run. We did a half of the fest, but we had prime time spots and ended up, you know, building up to selling them out and having great reviews. And it was just another like boom here. And then we got a really great offer in 2020 to come back and do a big venue and do Josephine with the band and do it for real, the whole fest, like with the billboards and all the things, right? But 2020, you know, I think what you were saying, Steve, we were on the precipice of it, man. We had built for 5 years momentum up to that point.
Yes.
We were in Australia. We had just won a Critics Circle Award in Adelaide Fringe, the second biggest in the world. There was a World Fringe Congress, so we had met people from all over the world. We were talking Australian tour, we were talking New Zealand tour, we were talking Asia, we were talking Europe. We had all these things lined up, And then COVID hit, and it was like all of our contracts for everything, and we had. Like I had given up the Fringe job because we were ready to do this.
No,
we were ready to do it.
You would put in the work and the time.
The show has the potential to be a massive commercial success. It's very unusual because it's a very fringy show in its own way. It's a fringy show. It's not like, it fits in the Fringe, but it has a commercial because of her unbelievable charisma and the way audiences respond to her. Because when I saw her in New York, when we saw her perform here, it was a different kind of, because I was more in the back and I could see, people love you. You're one of these artists. Like she said, Sammy Davis, we always kid around. I mean, that's like, you have this thing, like you're just this unbelievable performer. Like you love you on stage.
It's one thing to be able to dance. It's one thing to be able to sing. It's one thing to be able to act. It's another thing to be able to have those channel out of love.
She's so
That's
deep.
Beautiful.
That's the whole.
Wow, that's beautiful. I'm gonna
thing
take that.
She's so deep.
That's a whole nother thing.
I'm so shallow and she is so deep.
But that's a whole nother thing that you see. And I'm being judgmental. I don't see many people out here at your level, at your quality of work. And for me, it's that element. I don't care if you're doing burlesque. I don't care if you're tap dancing. I don't care if you're a clown. For me, it's not about that. It's that you have that. The audience feels like, wow, she cares. And that is really what our job is as artists at that moment.
Yeah.
Without doing a whole lot. It's just having your heart be available.
Yeah, that's definitely what I feel, and what I try to get across. And wow, you hit the nail on the head. Basically, I was like,
she can always hit that. She hits it right on the head every time. That's the thing about her. She nails it right on the head.
Because you don't mind. As creative artists, that's what the fuck we do all this work for.
That's what we put it in for. Like that's what I'm supposed to do.
Well, we noticed this. We started doing this YouTube show because we can't perform live. I mean, we haven't really done a show live in a year and a half. So we started doing it on YouTube. Mainly it was just at the beginning, it was just her and I doing our thing. And then we started saying, no, we've always wanted to do this thing with couples, especially couples who work together. But the thing about this is that you don't get any feedback. It's like, as a comedian, I want you to laugh. Like I live for people to laugh. I've always been like that. Even in like just hanging out with people, I'm always trying to be funny. So this doesn't satisfy on that level, like the YouTube, talking into this thing, and you don't get any feedback. So we really miss live performing. I mean, the Fringe,
connection.
That's the thing, the connection. We've played to very small audiences. We played to bigger audiences, and it doesn't matter. Like if we have 4 people in the audience, and these are 4 people who are having a good time with us, we are like, to us, that's great, and we always say that when we started doing this show, that after we perform live, that's when we have our best sex. So we're not able to do that now because we're monogamous, like we should share that with them now. Like at some point, you're going to be in our
they already have
this is we call this group sex for the new millennium, because we'll bring you into bed with us, and
Michael's very smooth talking. Tymisha's got Steve in all kind of costumes.
I'm wearing whatever you want. I look really good in fishnets. Whatever you need, I'm open to it. And you guys can do us too. The only thing I'm asking is, just imagine me with muscles. If you could picture, I know you're very imaginative. She's very imaginative.
She's not that
good. She is. I don't think Michael is. She could picture it. Just give me like a 6-pack, and because we miss the connection with people. It's really without an audience, theater is really, that's what makes it so awesome. It's not a movie. You go to a movie and the director is really directing you. You're not really experiencing, it's how you're being manipulated. You know, theater is like this thing when you connect so well with an audience.
Yeah.
So,
it's a collaborative experience. It's a shared experience. And that's the thing that that film and television can never, ever get. That's the thing that's is made me addicted to theater so much that I dedicated my life to it, and probably missed out on a lot of money in my life because of it.
But you know what, Michael? You don't know if that's true or not. And, you know, I guess I'm saying when you get to my age, you really want to say, am I doing what I truly love? That gives me joy.
See, when you get to her age, it's kind of stunning.
You know, it's
I can't believe
shut the fuck
I
up.
can't believe I'm fucking an old lady.
Yeah,
this is like unbelievable.
Yes,
I never dreamt that I would be fucking an old lady. Fucking an old Jew. Just imagine that, like the excitement of that.
It's like, you know, you might have gotten the money here, but you wouldn't have created this piece of work that you did, nor would this beautiful woman be in your life. So it's really, you know, when we say we want creative expression and inner peace, then we got to look at, are you willing to sacrifice some things for that? Like, I don't want to be around bullshit people. If I have to do that, I will. If I have to do something, but I don't want that shit anymore.
You know, Michael, you know this. The entertainment industry are the lowest human beings on earth.
I just don't.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm the same exact way.
Scum.
I just
These
don't.
are the, you know, brutal.
Yeah. You said it earlier. You said, you know, I'm not like any other producer. That's because I'm an artist, you know, and I've always been, that's always been who I am and what I do. And so as a producer, I actually understood and cared about artists, which is something that you don't see enough of in the entertainment industry. You see a lot of artists that allow themselves to be taken advantage of, and it makes it harder for everybody else too, because, you know, when you've got artists giving it away, then why do people want to pay us, you know? So it's a tough business. I mean,
the Orlando team was a really good group of people, though. You know, as a group, they were very professional and really on top of everything. But they were also nice people. It wasn't like, you know, some of the Fringe festivals are just like anything else. I'm not going to badmouth anybody, but I'm just, you know, sometimes they're not always really nice to you. Like they have these kind of weird kind of Fringe attitudes too. It's like, wow, this is the Fringe festival, you know?
You know, for us, the challenge has always been, one of our main strengths is that we're very good at improving and audience participation. You can't do that in the Fringe. And
you're not supposed to mess with the audience.
And first of all, we would never, ever
attack. We don't attack the audience.
I would never attack an audience member. I would never do that. Steve and I are smart enough that we can kind of get away with things because we're nice. So we can say stuff about ourselves.
You think I'm smart?
Yeah, yeah. What I want to ask you
together. You're smarter together.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve. Smart. What's on the horizon right now?
Horizon, and then we'll give them the closing questions.
Yeah. What's on the agenda right now for the both of you?
This next year, actually, we have a lot up in the air. We're still trying to book both shows. So we have our second show, Josie and Grace, which is the sister show to it. And we're supposed to do that in January for a weekend, and then take it to Arkansas, and then go to Palm Springs. And then there's a lot up in the air for it, you know, for both shows, actually. So next year is a replanning to build that momentum and get the right funds, because fuck, it does take a lot. And I know I know the show's supposed to be on a much larger commercial scale. It will be. It totally will be.
I think there's no question about it. It's just right now, because again, with the corona hitting again, this is going to, because in New York, they're closing all the Broadway houses because
all the shows are closing and everything. So it's just
there's still so much uncertainty.
And the thing is, nobody's really sick. It's just that you test positive, and then you're not really, but they still close the theater.
Yeah.
So right, because whoever's not there can give it to whoever who didn't get vaccinated, and now you're going downhill, and then boop, 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 boop.
a nightmare. It hasn't gotten better. I was hoping that Biden would come in and really have leadership around Corona. That was my big hope, and it's not really happening. It's this. I wouldn't say it's the same as Trump, but it's also not. It's not happening. We don't know what's going on, so it's kind of frightening.
A lot of the fantasies.
So let's ask them a couple of questions now. These are kind of stupid questions that we ask.
Don't say they're stupid.
Okay, they're not stupid. These are
Okay,
very.
what do you both prefer? Which one, the Addams Family or the Munsters?
I mean,
As a kid, Munsters.
Right.
I was a Munsters guy.
as
You
a
know?
kid, monsters, but I do know. Da, 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 da.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
The Munsters.
that's tough. You can't hate on the original.
Yeah.
But then,
Now, Led Zeppelin or the Who?
Zeppelin.
Zeppelin.
Okay.
Martha Reeve and the Vandellas or the Supremes? I knew that.
I had to go Supremes.
Style icon, Diana Ross and the Supremes. Just styling. Vocal wise, I might have to give it to the Martha Reeves and the Vandellas.
That's yeah.
Have you seen this movie called The Summer of Soul?
Ah, fantastic.
Oh yeah, the documentary. Oh yeah.
We love that movie.
Mahalia Jackson, Blue.
Oh.
Okay, she was sick.
I
She was not feeling well.
What?
She wasn't feeling well.
So check this out. When I was like 11 years old, 12 years old, the first person that I remember masturbating to relentlessly was Marilyn McCoo from The Fifth Dimension. So Marilyn McCoo is in that movie, and I'm not lying. I had all these memories, and
He's like tearing up.
I'm starting to tear up.
Did you get a check?
She's mocking me because it's Marilyn McCoo. She goes, I don't look anything like Marilyn McCoo. She's like so light skinned, and I'm a wide range. I can go the whole range. Dark, very not dark. I mean, I'm not like locked into this one taste. But Marilyn McCoo, even as an older lady now, she was sitting there and I could see how much she loved watching it. That was like an amazing movie.
Well, the people in the audience.
Oh man,
just
that's
the style.
great.
We have lost that. We have lost that.
We've lost. Black people had a community
we
that
lost
everybody
that.
wanted to carry each other. It was not just for a couple of people to succeed. It was to carry everybody out. And you saw that. The guy said in 1969, we became black. We weren't Negroes anymore. We were black. And now the problem is because they're branding each other. Everybody wants to make money. There's no unity.
Everybody wants to be Megan Thee Stallion.
And that's not bad.
And Cardi B and all that. And it's,
it
you
is.
were trying on clothes yesterday. I was trying on clothes yesterday. And it's a Black woman that owned the store. And I know the clothes that I tried on are made for the women that are out now. You know what I mean? With the
Yes.
Not to take away, but I don't have that. And I don't plan on getting it.
I don't either.
Getting it. So we got to find a middle ground, I got to find a middle ground because as y'all were saying, that community feeling of let's help everybody out. And it's the support and get people going. I kind of grew up with that, and now seeing it in the last few years, I've been a little discouraged on some points, and trying to get the Black community out to see the show. Oh,
very hard.
Yeah.
When we were doing our show in New York, we get a lot of Jews. It's very hard for Black people. We could never.
The only thing we found of the connection that you can go through is church.
Is church. Then to get them to come see, I tell them, well, there is a little bit of this and that, and they go through, and then that gets them in a tizzy until they see the show.
Right.
It's a matter of figuring out how to get past that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me ask you one final question because it happened in Florida. Did you guys see that rock performer who peed in the guy's face on stage down in a heavy metal concert in Florida?
I watched video, and one of my friends worked that concert. So yeah. And it was like they're like a brass band that does covers of Rage Against the Machine or something.
Right.
A Rage Against the Machine cover bands, brass bands.
Polka.
And the lead singer squatted over a dude's face and
see, my thing is this.
I feel like kissing on somebody.
Yeah, my thing is this. You're going to put yourself out there as someone who is aggressive, I'm this kind of woman and I'm gonna piss. And then when you do it and you get feedback on it and you apologize, then don't fucking do it.
apologized.
She's a poser. You don't
Yeah, I mean,
when you piss in
then
somebody's
punk
face,
rock, fuck off. That's what you
Yeah,
say.
when
yeah,
you
know?
piss in somebody's face,
yeah.
you got to own that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
own
that
yeah.
shit.
I loved it, and it was she finally got the attention.
Then don't do it if you
She's
can't
always
handle
wanted.
it.
I mean, she's a woman who's been on the scene. She does all those TV shows trying to be a
She
star.
did The Voice.
You know,
she did a
so
lot of
she's a
shows.
rock and roller. She's a hard worker, and she finally got the notice that she wanted.
it
And
scared her.
then Madonna never apologizes.
Madonna
That's why
does
we
not
love her.
Fucking
In her
apologize.
60s, she's showing her ass.
She told,
Still showing her ass.
Showing her
and
ass.
she told the rapper
50 Cent,
"Kiss
kiss my ass. Kiss my ass.
Her words were, "You're not an enlightened human, so why should I pay you any attention?"
That was actually.
So why should I pay you any attention?
So anyway,
Oh,
I hope you guys had a great time.
Yes,
It was
yes.
really,
Wonderful. When are we coming back?
and we
Trust
generally,
me,
you know,
we when we left there, we were so moved. The community that you have
it was
there.
a great group of people.
Tanisha, I'm
there.
telling you, that's not everywhere.
No. I mean,
It's really, really not. And you're very fortunate to have that.
and you're very fortunate to have Michael.
Yes.
Michael, again,
And
I'm
he's
gonna,
fortunate to have
they're
her.
both very fortunate to have each other, you know,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
gonna be pro male on this show because
Yeah.
you know, a male pees on a woman's face nowadays, you're gonna get in
Oh,
big
that
trouble.
would've
But a
been-
woman
yeah.
can
R.
squat.
Kelly, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kelly.
Poor guy.
Well,
I mean,
she was 10
they were-
months
they were-
old.
they were
my
kids.
maybe
God.
They
if
were
she was
kids, they were
12, it
kids.
would have been a
That's
little bit.
different.
You know?
Yeah.
The guy that the woman pissed on was in his 30s and he had a boner.
True.
So
Yeah.
it's all
Fair.
good.
He had a
Fair.
fossil thing.
So, you know, thank you so much for joining us on the
Yes.
Dirty Truth Tellers. And the show will be up in about a week.
And we just want to say to anyone listening,
If you get a chance to see
you
Josephine,
got to see this show.
you're going to see it. It's going to come somewhere. Josephine is destined for
Success.
big success,
Big,
not just
big,
not
big,
big
big,
success. It's an amazing show. And I think that you two are an amazing team as
Yes.
as people. You're a beautiful couple.
Yeah.
And
Stay focused on that. Don't let shit get in between that.
never.
Create the space for you both to be who you are.
And tonight, when you're fucking, just think of me a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, you can think of it.
I'm gonna get real soft if I do that. That's a no-go.
Pee in your face. Then she'll pee on your face.
Yeah, now I'm
do
gonna
my
think of
best.
somebody peeing in your face. And that's gonna make me even
no.
more
We're too
like-
old for that shit.
Oh boy.
If I try to pee on you, it takes so long for a
Oh,
drip.
I'd be asleep.
A drip. It's like
No.
fine. It just don't come out.
But we love you both. We appreciate you both. Please know that you
We
have
love you.
extended family here in New York City.
So
Love you
we're
too.
this on the Dirty Truth Tellers. Are we
Yeah.
coming back now for a second? Is that how?
No.
Oh, okay. So thank you very much.
Good night.
Have a good one.
Absolutely.
All right.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Bye.